Can AI replace your designer? Maybe, in some ways. Today, I'm going to talk about a few ways that you can use AI if you're working on a design project, and then I'm going to talk about a few things that it really cannot do for you. The reason why this even came up is I was working with a client who asked me to help redo their dining room in a house they just bought, and they sent over the images, and one of the images had been staged virtually. And I thought, if AI can put furniture like this in a room, which it didn't look terrible, it just wasn't the style that they were looking for, what else could it do? So I tried out a few AI tools to see exactly how good are they. They're really good at generating inspiration ideas for you. If that's what you're really struggling with, is coming up with the inspiration for your space, they're great at that. They can create a space in a style that you give them. They can create a space with specific colors that you want. And the second thing that they can really do well is if there's something in your room that you want to change. They're really good at helping you visualize what it can look like with that change made. Here's another example. If you have a room with a fireplace and you're looking at adding some shelving, as one of my clients was, onto one side of the fireplace, but they couldn't quite visualize what's it going to look like if I do that. And getting custom made shelving is expensive, so I want to kind of have an idea. Let me just say, the AI can do it way better than me, and it really did a pretty good job. But here's the thing about any AI tool, is that it's only as good as your prompting. It's not necessarily a super time saver, because you're going to have to go in there and prompt it again and again and again. And I'm just going to show you a live example. The dining room that I showed you, I asked it, show me what this looks like if it's a cottage style dining room with some green accents. And here's the first iteration. Now you can see this is not consistent with any design principles. The rug is so tiny, it's hilarious. But I prompted it again and I said, okay, show me that same space with an oriental rug that has greens in it. A little bit better. Okay, now what happens if we replace the light fixture with something that is a little bit more delicate and French provincial style? Okay, show me that space with some green window coverings, some green velvet window coverings, because I already knew what I had designed for the space. That's not terrible. What if we added a buffet to the space that has dark wood and caned doors? Okay, now we're making some progress. Now what if you added some artwork? You can see that if you really give it a detailed prompt, it gives you a much better result. So it's all in the prompting. And the same was true with the shelving example. I had to prompt it over and over again because also it's not a very good listener. Like you could say, make this thing in the room this color, and it doesn't do it. It has a little bit of a mind of its own. So it is really good for imagining your space in different ways and giving you ideas. But what it cannot do for you is, number one, space planning. And you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, which I'll link here, that space planning, I think, is the first step you should take in working on any room. This dining room was pretty small and it had a path of travel right through the middle. That tells me that a round table, because it's a square room also, is a really good fit for this because it gives you a lot of space to get around the table, but you can still seat plenty of people, and most of the time you're only going to seat 4 in this case. It doesn't do a good job with actually planning the space, and sometimes where it puts the furniture is not where you would ever put anything. Actual space planning is much better done by you or by someone like me with a tool or a free tool or a pen and paper. AI at this point cannot do that well, maybe in the future. The other thing that it cannot do for you is actually source the pieces, because one of the reasons you might be hiring a designer is because you don't have time to go shop at all these different places to figure out what table looks the best in your space. You want someone to give you a list of things that said, these 5 tables would work, or this table would be great in that space. So it cannot source actual things that you can purchase. If you love the rug in an AI image, no one can tell you where to buy that because it's not for sale. It's not good at sourcing things. The other thing it's not great at doing is color. is using your color palette. You can tell it to use green and it will put green in the rug, but one of the ways to make your color palette look intentional is to sprinkle little bits of it throughout your room. And it doesn't do that well. It doesn't try to use the green in more than one place or the blue in more than one place. It's not very good at sticking to some of the basic design principles around color or balance. It is not good at balance. You could get an AI generated room that had everything on one side, or in many cases, it'll stick an uneven number of chairs around a table, just as a bad example. But it is not good at helping you figure out balance in your space. AI is also not good at helping to mix patterns. Sometimes it will put multiple different patterns in a room, but it doesn't pay any attention to the concept that if you're using multiple patterns, you want to have a big, a medium, and a small pattern. It's not good at helping with mixing pattern, and not particularly good at mixing up the textures in a room. These two things, it's still better for human eye to help you out with that. But one thing I will tell you is it's a really helpful tool in a lot of ways. So it can't do these things now, but who knows, in a few years, it might be there. But right now, it's a really great tool for helping you to imagine your space differently. If you need a real person to help you with your space, check the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.